One of the things I have carried with me long enough now, and am finally breaking down and dissolving out of my system, is shame. I have carried that with me for a long time, and I recognize in my work even that so many carry what they think is guilt, but it's actually shame. What is the difference between the two? So, a lot of times people will use shame and guilt interchangeably, but they're not the same. So, by definition, guilt is a psychological discomfort that comes from doing something bad or dishonoring your values. It focuses entirely on your actions, like, okay, I did something wrong. We all feel guilt in one way or another at one point or another. But the point of guilt is to realign us with our humanity, to humble us and admit when we did something out of character or out of authenticity, but to essentially move on from it, learn from it, and grow from it. We're not supposed to hang on to guilt, okay? Because it doesn't serve us, it doesn't create any difference, right? Now, shame, by definition, is the painful feeling that you are fundamentally flawed, bad, or unworthy. It focuses entirely on your identity as though you are a bad person, that something about you is not right. Shame becomes an identity and can ruin a lot of opportunities. It can completely block your magical flow. It can put you in misaligned situations and connections. Shame typically begins very early. I know I can say that for myself. And I'm pretty sure those of you exploring this video and wishing to cultivate shamelessness can say this as well, that shame began very young for you. Because again, guilt and shame are not the same. Guilt can be experienced when you have done something wrong. And one of the things that I've told clients and have had to remind myself, even with guilt, because guilt can get tricky when you have been through trauma and emotional and mental manipulation and things like that, where you can think you did something wrong. But when you really um, evaluate it more, you realize I didn't do anything wrong. I was just made to feel that this action was wrong. So therefore, it's been programmed in me to think it's wrong. So, like, for instance, um, I'm bisexual. Okay. One of my first ever experiences was with another female, and I never saw anything wrong with it. I never saw anything wrong with anybody being bi or gay or um, anything like that. I just looked at them like regular people because they are, you know? Um, so it never registered for me that it was wrong. But when my father found out that I was dating another girl in high school, um, he quite literally told me I had a mental illness and that if I didn't fix myself, he would disown me. He said, I don't want you infecting the other kids, meaning my siblings. And I didn't understand that because I was just like, first of all, I'm not like, parading this around the house. This is my own private business. Um, I would never try to influence my brothers or sisters to think like I do or to accept my lifestyle. I just wanted them to be happy for me. you know? Um, so that did instill guilt in me, however, that I did something wrong. As I got a little older, I realized, wait a minute, what did I actually do wrong? What did I actually do wrong here? I showed interest in another person, you know? And this person was just somebody my father didn't approve of because she also was the same sex. Okay, so wait, I didn't actually do anything wrong. You should only feel guilt when you have done something wrong. Guilt is there to humble you and to help you realize when you have gone against your values, when you have hurt someone else, when you have um, broken somebody's trust, or made a mistake. But guilt is supposed to be fleeting. It's not supposed to be some lingering ball and chain that you carry with you for the rest of your life. How do you learn anything by doing that? How do you grow from anything by doing that to yourself? Another very pivotal moment in my life that helped me, this was right before I graduated high school, I believe, or was maybe a year after. This was many years ago. So, um, my dad quite literally said something that shocked me, but also started my journey with understanding the differences with guilt. Like things I should feel guilty for and things I should not. Um, in case you didn't know, I have come from a abusive, narcissistic family who I don't talk to anymore. And I'm very, very happy for that. Because I'm 36 now and I'm still doing so much healing around the wiring of insanity. and but when I tell you this, you're going to be like, oh my God, I know it. Because even now, when I think about it from time to time, I'm like, that was insane. Um, my dad just made a very nonchalant joke one time about, oh yeah, I could get Jen to do anything because she'll just feel guilty. I can make her feel guilty and she'll do anything I want. And I was just like, what? So like that was a very pivotal moment for me. I think I was 18. I know I had just possibly turned 18 and I was finishing high school. So like that was a pivotal moment for me of recognizing I need to get away from this, and this is not right. Guilt is something that shouldn't be weaponized or manipulated. It's something that we all as human beings feel and should use as a tool for growth, to shift pain into power or pleasure or both, not poison. So, that being said, like I said, shame was something that was deeply conditioned in me from the time I was very young. I remembered being very open about talking about anything, even when I was young. Like, I just wanted to understand everything. You know, um, I wanted to have discussions with all kinds of people. Yeah, I had friends my age and things like that, but I was fascinated by all kinds of discussions, fascinated by all kinds of art and forms of expression. I did ballet, I did tap dancing, I played violin, dabbled a little bit in piano. Um, I loved all kinds of music and still do. I was not afraid to kiss boys. I didn't have the whole ew cootie thing. Um, I was just was and is and am still very curious about life and all the things I don't understand or only understand very little of and want to know more. And that was shamed from my body to my mind to the way I process things. It was just constant shame. And this became part of my identity for long enough. You know, um, when we go deeper into the definition of shame, it is a self evaluative feeling where a person perceives they have failed to meet societal expectations or personal standards, resulting in a deep sense of inadequacy or worthlessness. Okay, so shame is not the same emotional charge as guilt. Guilt is supposed to be fleeting, it comes in and out, right? Shame is self evaluative. It's reflective, it's meditative, it's contemplative. You're sitting there and you're really thinking and feeling and just pushing these narratives that have been programmed in you to become a part of you so that you are easily pliable, pushable, and easily confused, easily distracted, easily manipulated, easily used. Because somewhere deep in your soul, if you're dealing with shame, you are so badly wanting to be loved and accepted and told you're a good person that you allow these things to happen. I know that that's my story. I have allowed and tolerated a lot of intolerable, unacceptable behavior, situations, and so much more due to this deeply held, shameful pain body identity that isn't even me. And that is something I'm chipping away at and dissolving day by day because I realize how much it has negatively affected me. And I don't want to pass that on to my son. I don't want him to see me in that identity because that isn't my identity. And it's not yours either. Your pain body is not the somebody that you are. Your pain body was created through pain, trauma, lies, deception, survival, stress. And you wear that pain like a familiar coat, and it's time to take it off. It's time to understand that you are not just unworthy because you're flawed and or you believe differently than other people or have different outlooks and talents or preferences or whatever. That doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I've really tried to drive that home with people is, every time you say what is wrong with me, you are believing that something is actually wired wrong in you, and it's not. You were made beautifully. You are here with and for a purpose. The chances that you were born are immensely miraculous. And yes, we're all flawed. Not in that we're defective, but that we all make mistakes. We are not perfect. We didn't come here to act and to put on a show. We came here to experience all the spectrums of emotion, all of the facets of life experience, of love, anger, creativity, destruction, fear and courage, happiness and sadness. And neither is more or less acceptable than the other. As I traverse deeper into the core meaning of shame, I'm very intrigued by something here. It says, shame involves a negative evaluation of one's entire life. Rather than feeling bad about just an isolated event, a person experiencing shame, like I said, believes that they are inadequate or unworthy of love and belonging. A negative evaluation of one's entire life. You can use that. This is how we start to cultivate shamelessness. Okay, we start here. You can use that evaluative mindset As you traverse through and sift through all the events of your entire life, instead of looking at them through a lens of shame and torture, look at them like a coach, like a therapist, like a scientist, um, as if you're putting a puzzle together. Um, when you observe them rather than absorb these events in your life, this is how you'll be able to see the pattern that keeps repeating. There's a pattern wanting to be discovered, which is why these memories and these events and these emotions keep surfacing, not because you deserve to feel shame for the rest of your life, but because you deserve to break free and you deserve to live authentically and true and happily and healthily. But the only way you can do that is if you look at the pattern that keeps repeating around your worthlessness, this sense of worthlessness, around your self doubt, around your self hate and loathing and self um, esteem issues and confidence issues and all that stuff. What is the pattern that keeps convincing you that you are shameful? And remember that the pattern can only continue with your participation. This shame was pushed on you without consent. And now, in this moment, you get to consent towards breaking this pattern. You get to look at this pattern and say, what would the worthy me do instead? What would the version of me that knows his or her worth do instead? What would the version of me that was confident and unapologetically truthful do instead now? Because that exists in all of us. We have all had that raw, true person show up, probably when we were younger. And that's where it began, where we were shamed, told no, don't do that, don't say that, don't ask that, that's wrong. But we were never really told why. It was just that our honesty in who we were made other people uncomfortable. And so we were programmed to think who I am makes people uncomfortable. Well, let them squirm. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them be jealous. Let them be whatever they're going to be. Because you are not responsible for playing a role and wearing these costumes to appease people who don't even feel comfortable with themselves. You are not the bearer of that weight. You wear the skin you're in. You accept the many facets of your beautiful being and shine. Even when you have rough moments, even when you fuck up. Love yourself in all these moments. And do not carry this shameful identity anymore. It doesn't belong to you. It never did. It was baggage that was thrown on your shoulders to weigh you down so much so that you would get buried and your potential would be suffocated. Let your potential breathe now. Whatever that is, whatever that looks like, no matter how weird, strange, or completely crazy it may seem to other people, your life is so precious and it doesn't deserve to be lived in constant shame. You are not a defective human being. I promise you that. We've seen a lot of defective human beings exposed lately. You're not one of those people. But you have been suffering long enough. And it's time to let that go. You know that. I know that. So I ask you, what would living life shamelessly look and feel like to you? What would change for the better if you could start today and walk just a little bit more shamelessly? Comment below, or if you would rather talk about this in private, you can email me at jpspiritualfitness@gmail.com. If you also need any support whatsoever, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can book a soul to soul reading at the link in the description below. I do email readings right now. I am not currently available for video or phone readings, but I am still offering emailed readings, which I find to be a lot more helpful because it gives you something you can print and reread and really sit with rather than forget important details. So I have readings for all kinds of areas of life. If you're unsure what reading might be best for you at this time, just ask, or just book a basic, 3 card general reading, and we can cover the mind, heart, soul areas that you need to focus on with action plans and all that good stuff. So thank you for listening. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments below, and I look forward to your path, the path you devote to shamelessness. I look forward to seeing what that looks like for you. Bye for now.